Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. Today I want to speak on the title or the subject of your awakening was not for you. I spoke a little bit about this in the past, and I want to speak about it again because oftentimes I realize that, and I don't lose sight of it either, that being awakened and being out of this situation with a narcissist, it's a rare thing. It's a very rare thing, and to come out in the way that I have and a lot of other survivors have, to the point where we were bruised, we were deeply affected in many ways by these people, but nonetheless, we found it possible to renew, to rebuild, to refocus and realign our life even better than it was before. Our life has a new purpose and a new meaning. And I know a lot of you may think that new meaning and new purpose is in and of itself to bring awareness to other people who might be dealing with this. Well, that's one factor, but I believe it's bigger. It's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than sitting in front of a TV or a video screen and getting the word out about the narcissist to the masses. It's much bigger than that, because there's a scripture in the Bible that goes, your life is not your own, you were bought with a price. To whom much is given, much is required. And that just keeps resonating with me, because the things that I have prior to the narcissist and the things that I have since the narcissist experience are truly night and day. The way I approach life is a lot different. I used to drink back in 1997 was the last time I drank. Before that, I began drinking at 17 in 1987. So I think you guys know my story. I consequently ended up going to prison for 5 years because of several domestics that ensued with me and my first wife. And for good reason, you know, it was the right thing for me to be allowed to go to prison, because it was one of the best things that happened to me. This is probably the second best thing happened to me, being awakened from narcissistic abuse. See, God was preparing me then in my sobriety for what was going to happen in a new era of my life, which when I met the narcissist. Because if I had been drinking at that time, I probably would have been on the street right now, pushing shopping carts around with everything that I own within them. No disrespect to those people out there who are in the streets, a lot of them which are narcissists, but there are some that have been destroyed by narcissists. So whenever we judge why that person is out there, let us just take a moment and think that could be us. But back to what I'm saying, I realize, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. That's a burden on me every day of my life, and I think it has been even before the narcissist, because some of us are just built in a way where we won't accept mediocrity. We won't just do a little bit and leave it at that. There's a drive within us. That's what I'm speaking of. There's a drive, there's a desire, there's an intentional going about things that we have and we possess. And we don't just settle for, just enough. We don't settle for average. We want to do as much as we possibly can, and with everything that's within us, to give off whatever we possess by attributes, gifts, whether it be encouragement, whether it be healing a person's broken heart with prayer, with a good word, with lending a helping hand, you name it. So that being the case, what we have in our awakening is not just that. That's not where it ends at. That's not where it began at. We were being educated, trained by our despair, by our disappointments, by our failures, by our being misused and taken advantage of. We were being trained by these things. We were being trained for tolerance. We were being trained with perseverance, stamina, endurance, and forgiveness. I know in times past and times going forward, it may appear like I am not forgiving towards the people who I speak about, be it the narcissists. Oh, I forgive them. I forgive them in the sense where I forgive the very acts and the very things in which they go on to do to other people. I forgive them in the respect that they have no idea of the road that they're on. I forgive them because I understand what they're dealing with. But in that forgiveness, that does not negate the fact that there is a responsibility that has to be handed down. And I'm here to hand it down with the awakening and awareness and educating myself so I can speak to other people about this. See, when we forgive in a sense where we become passive again, when we forgive into the sense where we become gullible again, naive again, that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is looking at the situation that a person took me through or whatever it be, and I can say, I am not going to allow that experience to attach itself to me in a way where my life is not productive to others. I'm not going to become what I hate, is what I'm saying. That's forgiveness. And secondly, you don't harbor ill feelings within your heart towards that person, because guess what? That will drain you, while the narcissist could care less. This sounds easier said than done, but it's a work. As I said before, we are not mediocre people. Chosen ones and empaths, we are not mediocre people. We do things in a very tangible, and a lot of times it's so simplistic, it's so practical, it is so unassuming, but we go at it methodically, we go at it passionately. And that passion doesn't have to be seen by the masses. Within us, there's a passion. And see, so let's get that straight. Not only does your passion has to be, it doesn't have to be apparent to the onlookers. Your passion is within you. The drive that you have to do the thing and not to do it just half-assed. Not to do it just okay. You do it well. You do it well and you continue to do it well. You don't get stagnated in that thing. You don't pat yourself on the back. You don't take time to excessively celebrate your accomplishment in that thing, because again, you are not your own. I am not my own. I belong to the world. I belong to those who are in need of the strength, compassion, endurance, perseverance, forgiveness that I possess. I belong to them, because I tell people all the time, knowledge means nothing if you can't give it away. Money means nothing if you can't use it in essence. I have to give the money to someone in order for it to have value. Just sitting on money does not hold any value. You invest your money. And there's a story in the Bible where the guy, where God talks to, or Christ talks to the people, and he says where one took some of his money and he hid it, some invested, some squandered it. You know, I'm paraphrasing what I think it said, but in essence, it said the guy that basically invested his money wisely is the one that's going to recoup the more returns. So let's take not the money, but the money was an example. You have a value. You're not a value in and of yourself. You have value. But you're an asset to the world. You're an asset to people that are in dire need of your strength, your story, your hope. So today, that's just basically what I wanted to talk about in regards to awakening. Because I was a firm believer in God, and I have a firm belief in the Lord. And I still, once I got abused by the narcissist, I still realized that there was a work in me that needs to be finished. This is an ongoing process. This is a rarity. This is a unique opportunity given by us who have been saved by the grace of God and spared from the mouth of these lions. And so, just an encouragement video and a reminder, because we're pumping videos out, we're talking to the masses. We have a channel that's grown, have, thousands and thousands of subscribers, and nothing against that. But I'm just saying, on the way to the top, we must not forget that we are on the rise to lift other people, not ourselves. Because in doing that, God elevates you. He elevates you. That's synonymous. That's synonymous with being blessed. So be encouraged, guys. Don't let your work start at videos and stop at videos. In your everyday walk, everyday life, don't look for opportunities. Just pay attention to the opportunities that are being given by, God to you, so you can lend a hand. Not always a physical hand. I'm just talking in metaphor. Lend a hand physically, but lend a hand to a circumstance. These situations will present themselves. You don't have to go looking for them. Trust me when I tell you. You just have to be available, and you just have to be willing. And your day will never be dull. With that being said, bless.